last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Wow, Fett.
And now, the conclusion.
And I keep mentioning how there's a whole fucking crowd of Sith present at this fight, because apparently, not only were all the spirits of the Sith together inside Palpatine, which he kept alluding to, he was saying, like, I am the Sith. And they're all going to unite inside of Rey and take over the galaxy and run the final order. There's a crowd, I think I said that for the 5th time. So what happened to the rule of 2? They're all just there? What? There's like 100,000 new Sith? There weren't that many, but there were a lot. More than 100. And they're all like fucking singing Kumbaya and joining spirits now? That's their version of Force Ghosts, is just continuing their evil essence within each other, even though they fucking backstab each other all the time? I mean, Sidious killed Darth Plagueis. And fucking Darth Maul just got left down a hole. It's a bad example. He just kind of died. I guess you have to move on. Or did he? He keeps coming back. Dooku fucking got his head cut off when Palpy masterfully told Anakin to do it. Do it. So I suppose they're all a big evil entity together, and the Sith Order is being brought back in droves until they get fucking Force lightning out of existence on accident. But I mean, then again, who knows? Because it was just a bunch of hooded jerks in this kind of auditorium-like place, or coliseum-like place, and they never really get too far into what they're doing there. They're just there. Okay. Fine. Chill out. They're chanting some shit. Who knows what? Again, I might have been watching it in a... I assume they were Sith, though. They probably were. Whatever. And like I said, there was like a Force diode thing going on, because I guess Kylo Ren and Rey Palpy existing at the same time made for them to be some kind of linked fucking... like Plessel and Meinl! But they allow force healing and teleporting items between each other, and force fighting across the galaxy with each other, and talking and shit. I don't know. I mean, they don't really get into that with Luke and Leia. Wouldn't they have been a force diode, you'd think? Or maybe even Palpy and Anakin? It just kind of happens with this one, just because, I don't know, they had the Poke Rust or some shit. They're just special. Even though Kylo Ren would be, like, horrendously diluted, because he wouldn't have had as many midichlorians. Sorry. But they didn't really get too far into that. They just mention it once or twice without really having the time to get into what it totally means, or when it's happened before, or... It just happened. It allowed Palpatine to conveniently rebuild himself at full power again. Is that Beardrew? On a completely different note, Finn and Poe each were kind of rushed into having a significant other, and that meant they can't be gay for each other, because Disney was like, hey, no. But we'll have 2 females kissing, because of course, during like the big celebration at the end. It'd be kind of random to just have it happen. I have to pee. And I guess my final bad point is the good guys really had no business winning. They had like a half-baked plan. They had maybe like 20 ships left against a fleet of Star Destroyers that could destroy planets. Each of them could. And they just went in with the plan of confusing the Star Destroyers by destroying navigation systems so they wouldn't be able to get off the volatile Sith planet with so few resources themselves. Good thing Lando pulled through with the biggest fucking armada this series has ever had, somehow. I mean, it makes sense. You would, like I said, the Republic should have been better prepared, and I guess it was, but the First Order scared everybody into feeling isolated and not wanting to fight, which they say like twice, and that's all the time they give for that exposition. First Order scared everybody somehow. Even though the Empire had already fallen once, I guess it came back and said, boo! And everybody scattered. They really should not have won. There's like fucking 20 evil ships. More like 200 evil ships for every good ship they had. And then they had all the TIE fighters too, so... whatever. I gotta pee, I'm gonna go do that. No, because I can get to the good points. There's only like 5. Plenty of time. I mean, I'll be able to breeze through. Good points. The Emperor coming back was lame, but the Emperor himself was cool. He looked cool. And half dead and all demonic and shit with his half thingies and his eyes glazed over, and he just looked like a zombie. And who knows, like he was hooked up to machines keeping him alive. It looked really unnatural for him to be there. Like they did a good job of that. Too bad they didn't really get into like how. Fuck it. I mean, they spent a whole trilogy explaining how he rose to power. Let's just not even give him 5 minutes. Let's just explain why he's back. He's just back calling the galaxy saying, hey, I'm back. This is the good points. You're back to the good points. Haha! I was waiting for that. I knew it was about to cut out. I have to pee. What are some more good points? He never used a lightsaber. Because in Return of the Jedi, he's like, that foolish Jedi weapon. And in this one, he doesn't have one. Whereas in fucking Revenge of the Sith, he's got one, and he does flips and fights Yoda with it, even though they were foolish Jedi weapons. More on that some other time. I was about to just crap on everything some more. He just uses his Force lightning. No lightsabers for him. Good job. I liked that. I really appreciated that. Going back to his original character of not bothering with that bullshit because he's a Sith and he's got Force lightning. He fucking lights up the sky and almost takes out the good guy fleet with it. You don't need that shit. He's the dark side god of Palpy. There wasn't an over-reliance in general on lightsabers. There's a couple of good fights with Rey and Kylo Ren, and they're not like flippy fights with Duel of the Fates playing, which is a good song, but they didn't rely on it, surprisingly. I don't think anybody wants to remember where that song came from. But the fights were realistic. They actually looked like they were trying to kill each other instead of just flash their sabers around. There was only like 2 fights, really, and a couple of other altercations here and there. Fucking Boba Fett Knights of Jank Chimp Forgery got murdered with a lightsaber, but like I said, that took 2 minutes. The action was... I'm fucking squirming because I have to pee. The action was good. It was action. It wasn't like lights and shit going on. It wasn't like super dense in every frame, but you know, it was a good amount. Of course, I mean, there was a lot of it. They had to get a lot in there to kind of have the whole rise and fall of the Final Order. But like, there was a good ample amount. It wasn't too many explosions or lasers. It was a good amount. I don't really know what else to say about it. Lightsaber fighting, space fighting, it was all good. A planet blew up, that was kind of cool to see again. I think they actually used like practical effects for the planet exploding, because at the very least they made it look like they used practical effects, so it was cool. It was like seeing a planet blow up in the original movies. And, you know, like I said earlier, they did a good job of hyping me for the final confrontation, even if it kind of fell flat. It wasn't terrible, but it fell flat. But the way they built up to Palpatine, I kind of liked, because like, man, he's rebuilt himself. He's fucking up the whole fleet. This is gonna be a good fight, and I guess it was about as good as the fight against him in Return of the Jedi. He just gets fucking dropped down a hole, in which he references, which was cool. I was about to start crapping on the movie again with more of the shit they referenced. Chewie, Millennium Falcon, droids. I guess in closing, is that all I got left? It better be. I have to piss. I guess I give it like a 6 out of 10. It definitely wasn't the prequels, but at the same time, the prequels had exposition, even if it was a bit much, too far, okay, we get it. But I don't know, everything happened so fast. They had to make up for things happening in previous installments that weren't as good. One in particular. Fuck you, Ryan Johnson! You ruined Godzilla! 6 out of 10 is my score, because lots of stuff happening with not much going on behind it, I guess. It didn't entirely feel like a lot of flash with no substance, but that's kind of what it was, I guess. I'm very confused. I kind of would want a refund. Maybe? I definitely wouldn't want to pay again. Someone could have taken me. I have friends and family. Maybe that's what I meant by I didn't pay for it. You don't fucking know. Warmon could take me. He's not old enough to buy tickets. He's like 2. But yeah, I don't really recommend this because I don't really recommend? I don't really recommend any of the new trilogy or the old trilogy, and I really only recommend like the fucking first 2 movies ever made. Everything else has been pretty hit or miss, with mostly missing. Like I said, like 60% of this franchise is poopy, at least in terms of like movies. Man, I have to pee. So it's not entirely terrible. It was kind of a fun watch. Really needs to be fleshed out more. Maybe we'll get a director's cut. We're not gonna get a fucking director's cut that fixes this. There's too much exposition they have to go back and do. It's better than this video, though. I almost had my hair back. I'm gonna go before I piss myself. Oh, Mr. Popo, it might be too late.